Good morning, Enid. It is Thursday, April 25th. Thank you for joining us on a very foggy Thursday morning, at least in the outlying areas. It's quite foggy, but we've got a gorgeous day coming up. We'll know more about the full weather forecast in just a few moments. Thank you for joining us. Grab a cup of coffee. We have our coffee and water. We're ready to go. For the next 30 minutes, we've got news, weather, sports. We have a city commissioner that is, co-hosting today, and she's kind of, as I said, rounding third base, heading home on her term, 2 terms, 8 years as a city commissioner. And we have Darren Janes with us from TPI Staffing. And we're going to be talking about giving back to the community. And what better show than we have 2 individuals right here that are giving back to the community. We are live streaming around the globe. So we want to say hi to our friends in Japan, also in Germany, that have a connection to Good Morning Enid, because we're live streaming at enidtv.org. And we're coming to you in high definition, channel 112, right here in Enid, Oklahoma. This is Good Morning Enid. Thanks for joining us. It's time to rise and shine. And once again, our theme is about giving back to the community, and Commissioner Tammy Wilson, Ward 5?
Yes.
Correct? So 8 years, Tammy, how would you sum up your role as city commissioner? Remember, this is live television.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to sum it up, but it's been an interesting 8 years for sure. It's been an incredible learning experience. I don't think people understand how complex things really are until you're in the middle of it. And learn how everything works, from every single city department all the way up to
Sure.
all the economic development and retail development and all those things nobody thinks about during their daily life.
So in summary, you're saying it's a lot more than just showing up on Tuesdays for meetings.
Absolutely,
there's a lot of homework.
There is a lot of homework.
Well,
yeah.
speaking of homework, we'll have Tammy really work this morning. She's going to do our bus stop forecast for us, because everybody's getting ready here at 7:32, and it doesn't look too bad.
So right now it's 49 degrees, and our high today is 77, which will be lovely, and our low this evening is going to be 46. So all in all, it's going to be a pretty nice day when the fog clears.
Yes, when the fog clears. And everybody's looking forward to, when you get close to Thursday, you're always looking forward to the weekend. And our weekend, or 3-day forecast, looks like this. Perfect. Anytime you see a bunch of 70s in a row, things are looking better, that's for sure. And lows are not too bad. Looks like we got a lot of sun, so that means yard work, means soccer, means a variety of things. It just means getting outside without freezing, is what, in summary. Looks really, really nice. So, again, our special guest from TPI Staffing is Staffing Services. Is that the official?
TPI Staffing Service.
Service, okay. Well, Darren's going to keep me on the straight and narrow. Darren Janes is with us, and we appreciate Darren being with us today. But he knows he's got to do some work here, and so we're going to go over some record temps.
Record high in 2012 was 90 degrees. Record low in 2013 was 33 degrees.
Now, when you look at those temperatures, Darren, does that remind you of Oklahoma?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
On Tuesday.
yeah, on Tuesday, that's for sure. Any time in Oklahoma, there can be a 60 to 70 degree switch, that's for sure. Okay, again, thank you for joining us this morning. Hope you're having a good start to your day, and we appreciate the opportunity to be in your home. And in preparation for school, Tammy, Commissioner Wilson, she has numerous names. I'll probably call her by several names this morning, but Commissioner Wilson has the school menu for us.
So today they get a breaded chicken leg, mixed veggies, celery sticks, and a hot roll, diced pears, and milk. And then on Friday, they have hot dog, sun chips, carrots, green beans, diced peaches, and milk.
If I'm voting going to school, I'm choosing Friday.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay, we have 3 votes for Friday. Okay. Well, we're looking forward to talking about giving back to the community, and we have 2 examples here on the Good Morning Enid set, if you will, to talk about that in just a few moments. Well, Thunder basketball is in the history books, and finally, the NFL draft. I don't know if you're an NFL interest, but we've been hearing about the NFL draft for 6 months, I think, but tonight finally is the night. and Oklahoma has a ball player that could be drafted. So anyway, we turn to one guy around 7:35, and it's the bow tie guy, Derek Silas. He has the Oklahoma Minute because he has all the news and info that happened overnight.
On Tuesday, the city of Enid hosted a reception honoring Mayor Bill Shuey, Ward 1 Commissioner Ron Jansen, and Ward 5 Commissioner Tammy Wilson as their terms come to an end on the city council. The new council members will be sworn in on Monday, May 6. Current Ward 6 Commissioner George Pankinen is mayor-elect, Jared Allen is Ward 1 Commissioner-elect, and Rob Stallings is Ward 5 Commissioner-elect. The Ward 6 Commissioner will be appointed. Then NFL Draft Round 1 will be tonight at 7 p.m. with predictions that Kyle Murray will be the first pick with the Arizona Cardinals. Rounds 2 through 3 are Friday at 6 p.m. Rounds 4 through 7 are Saturday at 11 a.m. There are 254 picks this year, and they all will be live on ABC, ESPN, and the NFL Network. The Oklahoma Flying Aces will play the Wichita Force in Kansas this Saturday. And sadly, Tuesday, Oklahoma City Thunder lost the 5th game in round 1 of the playoffs against the Portland Trail Blazers, ending their vie to advance to the NBA semifinals. And here's an Enid fun fact. Enid YWCA established one of the first domestic violence centers for women and their children in Oklahoma in 1978. And on this day in history in 1917, Ella Fitzgerald was born in Newport News, Virginia. She was one of the leading jazz singers of all time and won 13 Grammys. Her recordings have sold more than 50 million albums. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you, Derek. It's 7:36, holding steady around 49 degrees, but according to Tammy, we're going to work our way up to 77. So if it doesn't get quite to 77,
It's my fault.
it's her fault. We'd like to remind you, if you have any, you kind of see the spring set that we have behind us with tulips and just pink flowers, just gorgeous flowers. Do you have some pictures you want to send it? You can send it to our cows. They're always looking at the mailbox for the mail and pictures. And somebody asked me the other day, can I send some birthday pictures? Absolutely. So just send your pictures to gme@enid.org, and we'll put the pictures, graduation, whatever it is, May Fate, the list goes on. You know to send it to gme@enid.org, and we'll put those pictures on for you. Okay, Erin Savechnik is on kind of special assignment today. We'll call it special assignment, but she still was able to deliver with what's happening. And let's see what Erin has to say with what's happening.
Thank you, Steve. We've got a bunch of really great events happening this weekend. Starting us off is the Hanner Smokin' Red Dirt Barbecue this Friday and Saturday at the Stride Bank Center. Starts at 2:30 on Friday and 11 o'clock on Saturday. There is this wonderful new event happening at it called Bacon Fest. So if you are a huge fan of bacon, like I am, this is definitely your place to go. There's going to be a kids cooking contest, which you can go to for $10. There's going to be live music both days, and there's the Enid Noon Ambuck Lunch on Saturday for $8 plates, where you get to try all of the great barbecue food. So if you're a big fan of barbecue, definitely go to this weekend. After that, we have the Enid Home Show this Friday through Sunday at the Chisholm Trail Expo Center. There's over 350 vendors. It runs from 12 to 7 on Friday, 9 to 7 on Saturday, and 11 to 5 on Sunday. Tickets are $5 for adults, and 12 and under are free. This is a place to go if you are a homeowner and you are looking to update or enhance your home, or if you are remodeling, landscaping, or decorating. There is going to be so many different vendors with lots of different expert opinions about remodeling, landscaping, anything that you want to do to your home. And finally, we have Kites Over Enid this Saturday and Sunday. It runs from 10 to 4 at the Richard Dermer Memorial Flying Field, which is behind Autry Tech. There's going to be food trucks, and if you're a big fan of kites and you already have one, you can bring your own, or you can purchase a kite there. There will be kite displays, candy drops, racing, huge inflatable kites, and there is a flying team called Go Big or Go Home. And it is a place that you can go to fly kites. Since it is always windy in Oklahoma, it'll be a great weekend, and that's what's happening. Back to you, Steve.
Great job, Erin, as usual. And of the 47 things she mentioned to do this weekend, you know, the weather's going to cooperate. It's going to be in the 70s, and so we'll have opportunity. I think Sawyer Brown is even tonight, and so that's just one more opportunity for us to do some things. Okay, giving back to the community is our theme, and we have Gloria Compton from the Enid Public Library talk about why she gives back to the community. Then we'll have Darren Janes and our special guest right after this.
I'm Gloria Cumpston. I'm the teen librarian at the Enid Public Library. I volunteer here at Faith Farm. Once a week, I run the volunteer program at the Enid Public Library for teens. And so I bring a group of teens out every Wednesday morning this summer to harvest and weed at the Faith Farm Gardens. The Faith Farm Gardens provides the produce for loaves and fishes. And so all of this produce goes to a worthy cause, and it gives the teens a great opportunity to be a helpful part of their community. Faith Farm is a great place to volunteer if you enjoy being out of doors, don't mind getting a little dirty and sweaty, and want to provide for those people who really need something for their community.
So Darren, tell us a little bit about TPI Staffing here in Enid.
We are a local-owned staffing company that was started by my mother in 1989 out of her home. We are probably the Northwest Oklahoma's largest staffing agency, and that we serve a little over 300 different clients here in Enid alone.
In preparation for the visit this morning, Darren, I was looking at your website, and it said the mission of TPI Staffing Service is to increase the performance of its clients' organizations and while enhancing the lives of individuals seeking employment. Sounds impressive. How do you do that?
So many clients or many companies in the community or around the globe, whatever you want to say, but find recruiting in individuals is very difficult and very time-consuming or even overwhelming. So TPI will come in and relieve that stress for those companies. As for those job seekers, we will strive to provide the best customer service to those individuals and try to give a great atmosphere for them and treat everyone with respect. And then we will also really go above and beyond sort of their expectations.
I can see it's one less thing for an HR department to do in an organization. They can kind of hand that off to you and say, we need XYZ employee and help us out.
That is correct.
So that's how you do that. Very good.
So you're celebrating 30 years. So tell us about your celebration efforts after 3 decades in business.
So throughout the year, we will do certain events, and we will try to incorporate those events by giving back to those individuals that are working for us. So one example would be the Employee of the Month that we give out. Another example would be kind of in the middle of the summer, a cookout when they come in and say, hey, we appreciate all the work you've done for us. And then we will also communicate throughout the year just how thankful that we are for those individuals working for us.
In preparation for our visit, I noticed that you have this fancy title next to your name, President. So what does a president do, Darren?
So
you start by fixing coffee, right?
Yeah, right, and open the doors.
And it goes from there.
So my job is to plan, direct, and control all the activities of TPI Staffing Service in the most effective and efficient way possible for the company. In essence, I wear multiple hats every day. There'll be one day I'm trying to plan a marketing event, then the next day I'm working on corporate structure. So as the president of the company, my role has to be very fluid.
Well said.
So each month, TPI Staffing Service partners with Enid Public Schools by recognizing excellence in education and awarding one amazing teacher of the month. Mm-hmm. So tell us about that.
So each month, the community has a chance to nominate an excellent teacher by going to the Enid Public Schools website and clicking on the TPI's amazing teacher of the month. And I believe the link is under the, I'm trying to remember where it was, on the department. And once they find that, they can go down, and then under the communication, they click on that. Then they have 2 questions they have to answer. And one question would be, how does this teacher improve the education of his or her students? Second question they have to answer is, please give an example why this teacher should be the TPI Staffing Service Amazing Teacher of the Month. Then once that's completed, the school system has a third party that will take all the evaluations and look at them, and then they will nominate someone. Once that happens, they let me know. Then I and the school administrator leaders will come together at the school, because it's still a surprise for that teacher. They don't know they've been nominated and they are going to get the award. And we will show up that day and we will present that to the teacher. And they will have the opportunity to, spend the $250 that we're going to, give to them as any way they like for their classroom.
That was a lead into one of my questions about criteria, and you kind of covered that. But my question is, a school official or a teacher is watching the show this morning, and they heard the criteria, and they go, I don't want to do that, because that may sound like I'm trying to, really showboat myself, or whatever the term it is. But what would you say to a teacher to, meet that criteria, or to apply, if you will? Because they maybe sat back and said, no, that's not for me.
Well, in this case, we would like to see maybe not necessarily the teacher itself, but other individuals or other teachers maybe recognize the teachers that do go up and beyond the normal call of duty. And that really speaks volume of that teacher. And so we want to be able to reward that teacher. And by doing that, we have set up this program that we could do that every month.
And I imagine most of the nominations you get is from a teacher or a fellow teacher that says, so-and-so's doing a great job in the third grade, we need to recognize them.
Well, actually, I would say it's probably 50-50. A lot of the students nominate their own teachers. And it's really interesting to see their responses of why they pick their teacher.
So can you give us some names, maybe of some teachers or schools that have won your award in the past?
Yeah, I'll have to pull that out. Give me just a second. So this month's winner is Dana Meisner at Prairie View Elementary. Last month's winner was Denise Lavoie at Enid High School. Then the month before that, the winner was Jeff Funk at Longfellow Middle School.
Very good.
Darren, do you have any other examples? It seems like education is near and dear to the heart of TPI Staffing Service.
Yes, it is.
And to you. Are there other things that TPI Staffing is involved in besides education in regards to giving back?
Sure. The last few school bonds that was presented to the public, that we have been very proactive and providing communications and the positive effects that this bond could help or could do for our school system. Then we've also put on job fairs for the students. We've also sponsored graduation nights, after proms, many sporting events for the school systems. We've done fundraisers for them. We've also helped out the Carver school system as well. Then I also sit on the Leonardo's Children's Museum Venture Quest board. Trying to think of other things that I'm part of. We also sponsor something a little bit different, the Vance Air Force Base, one of their flight classes every year that we do that. So, but we're very involved with the school system, and we want to support them in any way we can.
Well, that's a very impressive laundry list of ways to give back to the community. And we appreciate the opportunity to be here today. So you can just, remind that Enid is such a giving community. And there's a lot of corporations, a lot of individuals that are very philanthropic, and they like to give back in their time and resources.
So I understand that the leadership at TPI would like to challenge the other business leaders in the community to join forces with you in appreciating teachers. So what could they do to help you guys out?
So glad you asked that question. And I would love to see, or I'd like to challenge all of the other business leaders in the community to help support our local teachers. There are many times that our teachers are pulling money out of their own pocket to pay for supplies, pay for materials for their own classroom. And we need, as the community, we need to help them as as much as possible. And I would like to see 10 to 15 other business leaders in the community to do a monthly reward for those teachers. So if that happened, we could basically, in essence, in 2 to 3 years, have every single teacher in the school system be rewarded some way.
Well said. And I wasn't looking at the monitor earlier, but I think Darren's information was up on the screen or can be on the screen. There we go. So if you need to reach out to respond to Darren's challenge to you, there's a number that you can call, and or if you see Darren on the street, said, I heard your challenge, and I think as an organization we're going to do that. So it's 7:50 on this Thursday morning, and Darren Janes, president of TPI Staffing Service, is our special guest. We'll have more with Darren in just a few moments. If you missed the news a few moments ago, about 11 minutes ago, we're going to go back to the bow tie guy, Derek Silas, and he has the Oklahoma Minute.
Thanks, Steve. On Tuesday, the City of Enid hosted a reception honoring the current Mayor Bill Shuey, Ward 1 Commissioner Ron Jansen, and Ward 5 Commissioner Tammy Wilson as their terms comes to an end on the City Council. The new members of the City Council will be sworn in on Monday, May 6th. The NFL Draft Round 1 will be tonight at 7 p.m. with predictions that Kyle Murray will be the first pick with the Arizona Cardinals. Rounds 2 and 3 will be Friday at 6 p.m. and rounds 4 through 7 Saturday at 11 a.m. The Oklahoma Flying Aces will play the Wichita Force and Kansas this Saturday, April the 27th. And sadly, Tuesday, Oklahoma City Thunder lost the 5th game in round 1 of the playoffs against the Portland Trailblazers, ending their vie to advance to the NBA semifinals. And here's an Enid fun fact. Enid YWCA established one of the first domestic violence centers for women and their children in Oklahoma in 1978. And on this day in history, in 1917, Ella Fitzgerald was born in Newport News, Virginia. She had been one of the leading jazz singers of all times and had won 13 Grammys during her life. Her recordings have sold more than 40 million albums. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
I did not know her middle name was Jane. I've always heard of Ella Fitzgerald. Never knew she had a middle name. It's kind of like I ran into a school principal of mine, and I never knew they had first names.
Right.
It was always Mrs. this, Mr. that. And I said, I never knew you had a first name. He just kind of laughed. So anyway. Okay, it's 7:52 on a quick Thursday morning, April 25th. Where in the world is April going? But this calendar just keeps on marching. So let's find out about the current weather for today, and Tammy has that for us.
So again, this morning it is 49 degrees and it's foggy. And this afternoon it should get up to 77 for our high today, and our low this evening will be 46.
And you can see the winds there kind
Tiny
of
little
making
bit
their
breezy.
little move from the north to the west. And typical Oklahoma from 2 to 25 miles per hour. So the 3-day forecast, I know you have plans for soccer, just all the events that Aaron had referred to earlier, and yard work in my case. But at least it's going to be nice to be out. I noticed the birds are really singing this time of year. Seems like it was a cold winter for the birds. They stayed in, but I've really been hearing the birds. So here we go. We got mid to upper 70s for the 3-day forecast, and that really looks good. In about 7 minutes, I had the privilege, will have the privilege of showing the interview that I had with Krista Roberts. Krista was very accommodating, had the opportunity to go to her office at St. Mary's and talked about her role as CEO of St. Mary's and all the accomplishments and recognition that St. Mary's is getting. So in that interview, it's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, lasts about 25 minutes. So if your schedule allows, hang on at 8 o'clock, and we'll be live streaming and also showing on channel 112 and 12 that interview with Krista Roberts. It was a great visit, very enlightening to me about everything that is going on at St. Mary's. Well, at this time, we always like to help out animal control, and we always turn to Charlotte Ringwald that helps us with the animal control. And let's see, the pet that we have, I think, is called Gecko. So let's see what Gecko is all about.
Good morning! Today we have Gecko. Gecko is a 1-year-old male. He's a coonhound mix in pen 16. He lived with kids and with other dogs, and he has lots of energy, and he's looking for a brand new family. So come by and meet Gecko today.
Charlotte does just a great job, and the entire team in animal control. And again, that number is 249-4910, 580-249-4910 is the number to call. And again, naming is option. That's Gecko, but you take Gecko home, you can change the name to whatever you want. That's we live in America, you can do that. So, but we appreciate their work. Well, Commissioner, how would you, we kind of touched on this a little bit. I'm going to ask you to summarize your experience. What would you summarize the highlights of your 8 years as Ward 5 City Councilor?
We did a lot right at the beginning. We were kind of just right on the cusp of doing a lot of really, really big things when I first got on. So one of the first things we did was the remodeling of Convention Hall and the building of the event center. So that was a big deal right in the very beginning. You know, we hit the ground running with that. So we did that. You know, we've had a new fire station built. We've had, gosh, it's hard to think of all the things we've done. We did lots of retail development over, you know, where the old Homeland building used to be. Now that's a super active retail spot in Enid, and it's doing great things over there. We've worked really hard on economic development and retail development in town.
And the
so
key
we've
word
done
there on economic development is work.
Work.
Things just really
It's true.
don't come down Highway 412 to Enid.
Right.
Everybody, the Broken Arrows, the Moores, the Midwest cities, everybody is vying for attention.
Yeah,
And so it's work.
we're competing against every city in the state and the whole country, really, when you go to try to woo people, you know, to sell the story why they should come to Enid. And so that's one of the things we've spent a lot of time doing, and I think we'll see the fruits of that eventually. None of this moves quickly. So that's something, you know, people say, well, you said we were going to do, well, it's coming. It's just, it takes a while sometimes to, you know, get all that done from beginning to end. But another big thing a project we've worked on the entire time I've been on the council is the water issue, which, you know, took several years, 5 or 6 years to finally get to where, to decide what we were going to do. And then we moved on the CAW pipeline. So that's that's probably not only one of the biggest things in our terms that we did, but in the history of Enid, really. I think that's going to go down as being a big, big, big move. And then, but you know, then everybody's still going to have water in 20 years, so that's important. That's been one of the more important things we've done for sure. And then another thing that we've talked about for almost the whole time is we started talking about a hotel downtown several years ago, and
It's
finally
changing the
you can
landscape
see it.
downtown, yeah.
yeah. So when we actually saw, you know, things go up and dirt move, it was really exciting because was a long time coming too. So
Well, for someone who knows behind the scenes the work that you all put in preparation for the meetings, appreciate your service
Thank you.
and your contribution.
Thank you.
Because again, you're doing a lot more than just showing up on Tuesday,
Yes.
setting on television studio set, talking about
Yes.
projects. Well, we've got less than a minute to go. Darren Janes, thank you very much for being here. What have we not covered in regard to TPI Staffing Service and really your role about giving back? Is there anything, and you take all the time you need, you got 30 seconds.
Well, thanks, I appreciate that. I think we just, as a community, we need to really support our education, and by doing that, I challenge a lot of other business leaders here
Okay.
in the community to step up and help out in any way they can. And one of those would be, like example that TPI Staffing Service is doing, is rewarding those amazing teachers out there.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great way to end the show. Darren, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time, and thank you for the
Thank you.
role that you have in giving back in the community. Tammy, thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
job as usual, and thank you for joining us on this Thursday, April 25th on Good Morning Enid. Make it a great day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Make it a great day.